He takes a sauna with living enzymes right after this.
I had this image in my head of a wall of fur. My watch detected the hard fall, called for help, and then messaged my wife. Next thing, thump thump, and it was my wife saying, "Have you got Bruce Mildenhall in there? Is he alive?" They said yes, he's okay. I still wear my watch, and I'm still looking for that kangaroo with tyre marks.
Today we're talking all about sleep, or the lack of it. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, Joan. I actually sleep pretty well.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I know. Well, when the kids were little and it was broken nights throughout multiple times, I was so exhausted. I actually used to sleep well, and I think that's just carried on to this day.
Well, you're very fortunate because there's no doubt that the nighttime routine can be extremely stressful for many families. And guess what? There's a study into this, Nick.
There's always a study.
There's always a study. So the top 3 pressures of dinner time for Aussie families are...
Don't give it to me. Come on.
That's right. It's cooking and prep time. It's being too exhausted to be bothered. Hello. Or it's the cleaning up afterwards.
Well, I'm lucky, Joe, because I do most of the cooking, so I'm off the hook when it comes to the cleaning up.
You are very fortunate that way. Well, so those top 3 are a part of the top 10 pressures commissioned in a survey by Australian Eggs. I know, it's important. And speaking of eggs, did you know that Australians now eat 18.9 million eggs a day?
18.9 million. Well, you've got to love an egg. I mean, give me a bit of onion, garlic and chilli, a Sri Lankan omelette. Yes.
Delicious.
Beautiful. But talking of cooking, this week Heinz is turning up the heat as he's sharing a sauna with literally millions of others.
So when you hear the word fermentation, you instantly think of food and drink, right? Pickles, sauerkraut, wine. But what if I told you that there was a treatment that actually ferments the body? Sounds crazy? Well, tucked away down this little laneway in the heart of Melbourne CBD is the very first cedar enzyme bath in the country. And when I say bath, well, there's no water involved, just bucket loads of enzymes designed to, well, ferment. Jane, can you describe what is the experience?
You will feel like I'm gonna bury you into the sand, hot sand. And then you will get sweat like crazy in 5 to 10 minutes time. From there, you can feel like an exercise. Heartbeat goes higher, a little bit hard to breathe. And then depends on how long you can stay in there, from like beginning of 15 minutes up to 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
What are you burying me in?
It's an enzyme made of sawdust, active carbon, and water and rice bran mixed, and a few herbs in there.
So it's a bath, but no water.
No water, but you sweat like crazy. Okay. Yeah, I'll get you lie down here.
Like that? The cedar enzyme bath was originally a Japanese practice, but maintaining the balance of ingredients and ongoing maintenance saw it drop off, before the Koreans took over, where it's now popular for treating all kinds of skin conditions like acne and eczema, even hair loss. Let me tell you, there's nothing modern about this process. It's steeped in ancient wellness techniques.
Look, how are you feeling?
It's very different to anything I've ever experienced, Jane.
I'm just going to wipe off your sweat.
Okay.
Let me know if you feel...
Is this mixture fermented?
Yes, with the right recipe, it creates a heat with the wavelength.
What temperature does it get to?
Minimum 55 up to 70 degree.
Is it similar to a sauna?
No, actually, sauna temperature will be normally 40 to 45 or up to 50 around, but 50 with the sauna temperature, you feel really hot. But with this enzyme, although it goes normally in between 60 to 70, you feel like 40 to 43.
Where does the heat come from?
When the enzyme breaks down the peptide, that creates by itself with microorganism. It's the peptide. Look, now I'll get you out. Now you can lift up your knee, pull up your knee.
While I've been laying here buried up to my neck and sweating like you wouldn't believe, the thought about hygiene comes to mind. But Jane assures me that because the temperature is so high, up around 70 degrees, it kills any bacteria in the mix. The enzymes are treated after every session to reactivate them and replaced once a month. What's the response been so far?
From my clients, very unique, very interesting. That's the biggest. And then, wow, it was difficult. I thought it's relaxing, but not. Okay, slowly. Wait for a second. See if yourself is feeling dizzy.
I feel very, very, very warm. Wow.
No dizzy?
No, and I'm wet to the bone. No dizzy. No dizzy. A little bit dirty.
Well,
No dizzy.
I've got to be totally honest and tell you that being buried alive isn't at the top of my wellness to-do list. And that's what I find so fascinating about this particular treatment, is that it really treads that fine line between something that's about wellness and relaxation, but equally about challenging yourself and pushing your body somewhere that it's never been. And that's what I loved about it. At first, I was so nervous, I can get quite claustrophobic, but I learnt the act of surrendering. And once I did surrender and connect with my breath, I actually loved the experience, the pressure on my body, how wet I feel, the immense sweat that I felt beating down my face, even those itches that I couldn't quite scratch. But if you're just a little bit curious about mixing up what wellness and detoxifying looks like for you, then this is the treatment that you've got to try.